Love suffers long. Okay? Or as some translations say, it's what? Patient? So the modern translations say love is patient. Okay? Suffer long, patient, has to do with those, it's got its etymology from the Macedonian phalanx and then later on the Roman modified phalanx, and that was the square that the soldiers would make in the battlefield. They would have their shields together. Shield after shield after shield after shield, and they would make a human wall. And no matter what happened, they would not break ranks, and they would just keep coming. They would see 40 men in front of them fall, and they would just fill the gaps and keep coming. It was awesome. And it usually ended up frightening the enemy. And the enemy would say, hey, these guys are stubborn. They're long-suffering, the Greek word. They are patient, the Greek word. Okay? Let's get out of here. They're not going to give up. That's the point. That's what love is. And the Corinthian people were giving up on each other. That's why they had the quarrels in the first chapter, right? Verses 10 through 13. That's why they had the quarrels in the first chapter. That's why they couldn't get along. I have Paul, I have Apollos. I have Cephas, I have Christ. That's why when they came to partake of the Lord's Supper, some ate and got full, some got drunk. Couldn't wait for anybody. Okay? You bring your own, I brought my own. Eh? Can't help it if you don't have. It's your problem. Not mine. Goes on to say, love is kind. You know, I could picture these Corinthians in the first chapter. Remember, divisions among them. And in the third chapter, I can't address you as spiritual men, but as carnal. For there's envy, jealousy, and strife among you. Chapter 3, verse 3. Envy, jealousy, and strife. These were some mean folks. I mean, I can just picture the Corinthian church like some congregations today. People coming to worship and planning the night before and thinking about it the week before. If she says something to me, I'm going to let her have it. I'm going to give her a piece of my mind, and I'm going to give her a piece of my mind every week till I ain't got no more mind left. Okay? I mean, that's what's really happening, okay, when you keep giving pieces, okay? Okay? Love is kind. And you know, a lot of people don't know how to be kind. A lot of people don't know how to be kind. But folks, when we look at the Old Testament, we've been studying the book of Leviticus, we studied Exodus before that, and then Genesis. We see in everything that our God is a kind God. He that abides in love abides in God. He that loves his brother loves God. He is of God. And wow, when I look at this, kindness, boy, that's missing from the church. Can you imagine if we were kind? Jesus said it a long time ago, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men, right? Isaiah said in Isaiah 55, verse 11 and 12, my word shall not return void. His living word through us will not return void. Jesus will draw men to his kingdom if we're kind, if we're patient. Signs of a healthy church. Signs of a sound church. Signs of sound doctrine being preached. Sound doctrine being lived is patience and kindness. And he goes on to say, it envies not. Remember? Envy, jealousy, strife, right? Well, Corinthians are flunking. They're getting an F in every category, right? F in every category with all these gifts. Okay? Paul didn't even have to talk to them about attending services. They were there. Couldn't wait to eat some more. Okay? Couldn't wait to get drunk. Huh? He had to talk to the Hebrews about attendance, right? Don't forsake it. But didn't have this problem with the Corinthian church, okay? He goes on to say, love vaunteth not itself. Okay, in other words, it does not push itself forward or impose its will on others. Have you met people who they have the only idea? Okay? And never compromise. They don't give in. They don't give over. They don't give up. Right? They don't give anything. The only thing that'll happen one day to them is they're going to give out. And then it's not puffed up. Love is not puffed up. That pride, remember he talked about it in chapter 4? Okay? You reign as kings already. We were to reign with you. Then he goes on to say, does not behave itself unseemly. Okay? Remember taking one another to the law? Chapter 6. Remember fornication was so rampant amongst them that he had to talk to them and let them know that there's a difference between eating meat and committing fornication in the 6th chapter. There is a marked difference. Okay? All right? It's not a natural thing that you have to do, and nobody's ever died of lack of sex. Okay? Okay? You know, doctor does an autopsy. Well, he died of a lack of sexual relationships. It has never happened. Okay? But you can die from malnutrition. And this is Paul's emphasis in the 6th chapter. Okay? It does not behave itself unseemly. All right? Then he goes on to say, seeketh not her own, not selfish. Okay? We've got some selfish folks who think of only one person. And let's face it, the Corinthian church flunked here too, right? Okay? That fornicator of chapter 5, verse 1, remember? Okay? He flunked, right? Okay? The fornicators of chapter 6, they flunked, right? Okay? The quarreling people of chapter 1, they flunked. Okay? And then it goes on to say, it thinks no evil. I'm sorry, it not easily provoked. Okay? Got a whole lot of folk that are easily provoked. You touch them, and they go off. They go off. Okay, and I think I shared this with you last week about this lady, some things had gotten around the congregation, and from the benevolence committee to this committee and that committee, and people were coming to me telling me that this brother had talked to her real bad and done her real bad, and then this sister had done her real bad, and so I brought them all in. And she was talking about how nice this sister who had supposedly had done her so bad was to her, and how nice this brother was to her. And then I began to bring up what I had heard people say. I said, now, he said that you said, and then she said, Brother Devore, I have to leave the meeting right now because I am about to go off. I appreciated her sharing that, okay? You know, I appreciated her coming clean with me. She said, I am about to go off. I don't like him. I'm about to go off. Let me go, Brother Devore. And I opened the door and let her go so she wouldn't go off, okay?